Now, picking Alabama to beat Texas this weekend is pretty much the easy pick, considering the game is in the Crimson Tide's backyard and Nick Saban's their head coach. Steve Sarkisian hasn't proven he can win the big game yet, and Alabama typically has some of the top personnel in the country. It's the safer move. Nobody can deny that. But sometimes you got to go with your gut. And while instinct isn't always right, I would be in shambles if I went against myself and my gut and my preseason pick of Texas winning this game, and then Texas won it. Now, I'm sure if Alabama wins, there's going to be Bama fans all over this post and in my mentions, and that's fine. I can eat crow when I'm wrong. But if Texas does win this game, it'll be because of a couple reasons. The first is that Texas defensively, especially in the front seven, looks to be more physical and nastier than they've been in a long time. They have guys who can play with their hands. They can move high-caliber offensive linemen backwards to disrupt the run game, to throw off the timing. And they got guys that can run the hoop to get to the passer. Now, on the other side of the trenches for this Longhorns OL, they have the capability to be one of the top in the country with a young talent now a year older and a year wiser. I know they didn't look perfect against Rice, but trust me, I think they're going to perform better this weekend. Now, the skill positions on Texas's offense has a chance to be elite. And with a banged-up Bama secondary, Quinn should have options not only at wide receiver, but in the seam at tight end as well. If this game turns into a shootout, which it could, I think Texas can hang around long enough to have a chance in the end. The second reason is that Bama still has a lot of unknowns that we truly couldn't figure out regardless of how well they played last weekend because of the personnel disparity between them and Middle Tennessee. Jalen Milroe did pretty much everything right, but his receivers aren't going to be running scot-free, and while he may be the best athlete on the field, even in this game, he isn't going to be able to run circles around Texas like he did last week. Now, if Milroe is able to make the tight throws, especially on third and medium to third and long to extend drive, Texas is in big trouble. We just have to see it first. Now, the third is mixing injured DBs with a deep receiving unit is not a good combination when you're trying to stop people. And even though Malachi Moore and Jalen Key have been able to practice this week, being limited at all during this game against this group is a disadvantage. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like a lot of things don't have to go right for Texas to win this game. They're going to be down 7 when they get off the bus. And I wouldn't be shocked if Bama covered. But I'm going to go with my gut on this one. I'm going to stand firm in what I said before the season. So give me the Longhorns, 30-27, shock the nation, Saturday night. David
You got
Cohn.
them going undefeated.
I do. Listen, it's never back down, right?
Never back.
Just meet me in the parking lot. Let's figure it out. But my co-host, David Cohn, former Michigan quarterback, and it's Friday, and even though he's hurt, got a bum wing, we know he's sitting to my right.
This is flaming chocolate!
Spank that ass, Les.
Spank it.
1.5.
Okay.
1.5 today.
1.5.
A little leeway.
A lot of focus.
Room for a mistake.
If you don't know, and you're new to the show,
Room for a
on
mistake.
Fridays, our mustached colleague over here to the right becomes a dragon, and we can't use his government name.
Yes.
Now, we can say words like blanket, right? If we say it together, you can't stretch it out.
It's iffy.
Yeah,
It's
you
iffy,
can't
okay.
stretch it out.
It's iffy.
I'm not even going to call
We
him.
can't say Tanner.
No.
How dare you?
Well, yeah, I don't say that anyway.
Okay.
That's. I got another buddy named Tanner. It's just weird when I say that.
Mordecai?
But yeah, needs to play better this weekend, especially with what I got at Wisconsin going. Washington State, that game's a little bit scary too. Guys, college football season is back. The NFL is almost here. We have Major League Baseball playoffs right around the corner, and life's more fun when you're in on the action. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use our code CRANE, C-R-A-I-N, C-RAIN, you get it? New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on college football. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook and only with our code CRANE, C-R-A-I-N. DraftKings, the crown is yours. David, you got Bama in this game, correct?
Alabama, Texas, week 2. We don't even have to wait for the postseason.
Do you see a world, do you see a multiverse where Texas wins?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Texas could go win this football game. And they lost by a point last year in Austin when Quinn Ewers didn't even play the second half. I mean, he had Texas on the ropes, and that was at a time when Alabama had 2 of the top 3 picks in the NFL draft. Of course, Texas can win the football game. I'm so excited to see what Coach Jeff Collins has to say about this tomorrow.
Yeah.
He's going to be our guest picker. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for our Saturday special with Coach Collins. if this thing turns into a shootout, I'm so glad you brought that point up. If it turns into a shootout, then I like Texas even more. If they start trading scores back and forth and the numbers start to get up there, then I like Steve Sarkisian's offensive mind with Quinn Ewers at quarterback. I just don't think it'll turn into a shootout. I think we're in store for a really scrappy game. I think the defense is going to come to play for Alabama. They're going to be at home. Bryant Denny is going to be rocking. We have a very small sample size, obviously. We have Middle Tennessee for Alabama, and we have Rice for Texas. They were pretty vanilla in both games. Jalen Milroe is going to make a mistake at some point in this game, right? He's not going to just play a perfect football game, I don't think. What kind of mistakes is he going to make? Are they going to be detrimental? Does he make the same mistake more than once? I think that his athleticism combined with what Alabama's going to bring on both sides of the football. They have 3 offensive linemen weighing over 350 pounds. They're the largest offensive line in all of football, not just college, including the NFL. Give me the Tide to roll in Tuscaloosa this weekend.
Flamin' Dragon, give me one key to victory for Alabama.
Getting to Quinn Ewers early and often. I think if Quinn really gets settled back in the pocket, he turns into an extremely dangerous man. And I think Quinn can do it. I think he's pretty good on the run, too. But you saw the mistakes early with Texas offensive line against Rice, and they weren't super complicated mistakes. They seemed like basic mistakes, and it's not going to get easier going to Bryant Denny facing one of the best front sevens in the nation. An onslaught of bodies getting thrown at Quinn Ewers to not give him time to get that receiver. And I think another thing both these teams want to establish, and I know the people are talking about, is the run game. Alabama wants to be a running, downhill, smash mouth, give me 4 to 5 yards of play, then we'll get into the play-action football team. And if they can get that set up and keep the ball out of that high-flying Texas offense, Quinn Ewers, all these great receivers, we'll see who the running backs are there. I think Jonathan Blue's decent, but obviously they don't have the production they had last year. I still think Alabama's defense will be the one to prevail. I think Jalen Milroe will make a mistake, but not too many mistakes, and being the most athletic person on the field, going through progressions and hitting your spots as a pitcher, as a quarterback, with what you need to do. I think the Alabama with a double-digit win.
Schematically, I'm so interested to see. You have Steve Sarkisian going up against the minds of Kevin Steele and Nick Saban. Obviously, they're familiar with each other. But kind of the one caveat in it, the one difference is this Alabama offense is different than what they were running when Sark was there and Lane was there with Tommy Rees. I would not be shocked to see a ton of quarterback design run from Alabama, where they get the true hat on a hat ball
all season.
All season, but in this game specifically, because I do think the biggest move for Texas up is because I don't worry about Sark's offense. It's always the defense, right, with Texas. That's the thing that's holding them back. I think this front seven is good enough to be able to go toe-to-toe with Bama. But schematically, especially on third down, I'm so excited to watch this game. I mean, I'm going to have this one on one side, Oregon, Texas Tech on the other. I want to see how much 10 personnel Alabama gets in against Texas. I know Tommy wants to get in 11. I know he wants to get in 12. And if they're not able to bash them, that's when I really think you're going to see them start to maybe open up the offense a little bit. It was a little more open than what I thought it was going to be in the first week.
So you're thinking they go 10 personnel and they don't have a tight end out there a lot of the time?
Well, I think you're going to get some 10, you'll get some 11, and I think they'll line up in what we call deuce. I wouldn't be shocked if they flexed the tight end or motioned the tight end all game. I just think what you're going to end up having is I don't know if you want to condense all these formations against Texas's front seven. I don't know if you want to get really tight and have a bunch of people in the box and turn it into that style game. When you have a guy like Milroe, he can get in 10 personnel, run the zone read with. Even if you want to get in 11, what we call deuce, have the tight end either in the hip on the line of scrimmage with the receiver out wide and then 2 receivers on the other side and be able to run any type of quarterback lead action with the back leading. I think you're going to see the whole gamut from Alabama from a run game to try and just mix it up against Texas's defense, because I do think Texas is good enough in the front.
So was deuce a formation for y'all or personnel?
Deuce was, well, it depends on where I was. Deuce was a formation. So when I was at South, deuce was a formation.
Okay.
It was 2x2 with obviously 11 personnel because the tight end was in there, and it signified that he was either on the line. We had deuce, and then we had deuce off, which meant the tight end was in the hip. Some people call it deuce hip. Some people call it deuce off. If it was just deuce, you had wide receiver off the ball, tight end on the ball on one side. On the other side, you could have two wide receivers, 2 on the ball, 1 off the ball, or vice versa.
Deuce for us was a personnel. So deuce for us was 2 tight ends. So you could either be in 12 or 22.
So when y'all got an ace, it was, or whatever.
Ace for us was 11 personnel, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild.
and
Ace
not a
for us was a formation.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
But do we by chance, back in the control room, have the TikTok of the Texas football players? Do we have that by any chance back there? Oh, I just wanted to play this.
See, this
I just
doesn't
wanted
give
to
me
play
confidence,
this
David.
and just see if you want to stick with Texas this weekend.
Just
can you,
play this.
Can you run this, please? There we go. There we go.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
First off, this is
I'm
what-
serious. Someone sent me this, and I'm serious.
Are you
Texas,
sure that's Texas player?
And I'm serious that Texas Barstool's account tweeted underneath this when Alabama's Barstool account tweeted it. Texas responded and said, "This is dope. I don't know what you're talking about." That's where I start to have a lot of questions.
This makes me worry about like how we're gonna do in not even the Texas Bama game, like in World War III.
Oh, for sure. That's what all this is for, is to stay sharp, so we stay fit.
Yeah.
Does
Bama double digits.
that
Bama double,
that doesn't
your
breed a
double.
lot of? Can we start the show over? Can I redo
Bama
the?
double digits.
Can I redo the open if that's all right? YouTube, we did it. We did it. 100,000. We appreciate you. And we want to get to 200,000. So make sure you subscribe and share it to all your friends. It's football season, Major League Baseball playoffs, all type of greatness. Hockey's right around the corner. NFL's here. It's like Christmas for adults. We appreciate it. Thank you.